guys, before we get started with this video, I would just like to say if you're enjoying my content, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and give that notification bell a big ol' smack for me. It helps the channel out a lot. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy the video. I try to be as interactive with my fan base as I possibly can, but it's kind of impossible to be interactive with all 8,000 members of the trolling empire. It's just impossible. As much as I would love to be able to, it's just impossible. Because, well, first of all, when I get questions asked to me, it can get lost in the comments section with all the other comments. And the same can be said when people ask questions in my Discord chat, because it is against the rules to direct message me in my chat, unless it's important. So that's number one. And number two, of course, it gets lost in the other chats. And of course, I'm a busy guy, so sometimes I'm just not able to get back to people when they do ask me questions. So what I did is I opened up a new area of the chat where people could ask me questions. It was open for 1 hour, and I announced it to the entire Discord server. So I said, hey, I'm gonna be doing a Q&A video, and I want you guys to ask me some questions in there. And yeah, there was quite a bit of a response, so we're going to be answering those questions that were asked in that hour time frame in this video. Of course, I'm not going to be able to get to every single one of them, but the ones that I could answer are going to be shown on this video. So anyway, without any further ado, let's get started. Oh yeah, and of course there is some gameplay being shown this time. It's not just my avatar. So enjoy me sucking at the underground war while you watch me answer some questions. Anyway, let's get on to the first one. Why did you start YouTube? I started YouTube a long time ago. If you look on my channel, this channel was registered sometime in 2012. Now, originally I made this YouTube channel so I could comment on my favorite YouTubers' videos and leave likes and whatnot. But eventually I decided to make videos of my own, and for a very long time they didn't get a lot of traction. It is only just now in the past year that they have finally started to get, you know, a decent amount of views on them. So it's been a very long journey, though many of you have only been here for a year or less. This channel's journey spans across far farther than just 1 year's time frame. So why I started it was originally to comment on videos and whatnot, but why I make videos now, it's because I enjoy doing it. I like entertaining my fan base, and I just really get a lot of enjoyment out of doing it. Do you like your job? Yeah, I do enjoy my job. Not as much as I do enjoy making YouTube videos or, you know, doing things in my free time, but for a job, it is quite enjoyable. You know, it's not too stressful for the most part. I mean, sometimes it can be, like when it gets super busy in the store. Like, basically, I work in a grocery store, so I have to deal with customers a lot. So sometimes it can be a pleasant experience, like when you meet very chill people. But, of course, when you meet some nasty people, it can be, well, a nasty experience. So, for the most part, yes, I do enjoy the job that I do, but you know, there are some negative aspects to it, but that's like anything in life. There's going to be some negative aspects to it. It's not going to be all good, but you know, I don't really dread going to work every day. Sometimes, you know, it's a little, you know, annoying to get up early in the morning. I mean, that's just kind of, you know, nobody really likes getting up in the morning. Well, most people anyway. So, I mean, for the most part, it's an enjoyable experience. So yeah, I would say I do enjoy my job. How did you find cafe groups? Frappe, believe it or not, was the first cafe group that I that I stumbled upon, rather. And how I found it was through Albert Stuff, not Flamingo, Albert Stuff, the original channel that he had going on for a while, which he wiped his YouTube videos off of, which I'm still upset about that. I want to watch his old videos. But anyways, Green Lego Cats also helped me find it as well, because I saw both of their videos trolling on Frappe. Of course, Cow was much more frequent of a troller at Frappe, but his videos and Albert's videos helped me find Frappe, and then I looked for other cafe groups, and the rest is history. What's your honest opinion about Frappe? Originally, I actually didn't have a problem with Frappe. I just really enjoyed trolling there. As a matter of fact, if you look back at my older videos, you will find a video called Do I Hate Frappe? And in it, I explained that at the time, I didn't have any real issues with the group. I just enjoyed trolling there. I liked the reactions that I got. But then, after that, they falsely banned me and refused to unban me. They wouldn't listen to reason at all. So that didn't put a good light on their group. So, you know, when I saw how unbelievably corrupt they are, that's when I developed a distaste for Frappe. Now, to answer the question itself, what is my honest opinion of it? Originally, my opinion was just that, the baristas are a little too serious, but, nothing major other than that. But then when they showed their true colors to me, yeah, my opinion changed. Now I have unbelievable distaste for them because, they are horrible to their workers. They're willing to turn on them for the smallest things. And of course, they ban people on a whim. They'll just ban people without reason, without evidence or logic or reason behind it. So my honest opinion on it now, it's an unbelievably corrupt group, and I don't think it deserves to be as big as it is. Have you even considered defeat? Yes, I have considered defeat. In fact, I will even admit to a defeat. Very recently, we lost a raid because what ended up happening was we were doing the raid, but my computer ended up having serious issues, so we weren't able to carry out the full raid. So Frappe was victorious in that raid, and of course, by extension, the Empire lost that raid. So that is one example. There are other examples as well. My eyes are not blinded by arrogance like they are at Frappe. I am willing to admit defeat when it happens. Do we win most of the time? Yes, because all Frappe can really do is ban, but of course, we can always get around those bans. So usually we win, but of course, sometimes we lose. And not just in raid's sake, there are problems with my Empire. I know it's not specifically defeat when we talk about, issues of the Empire, but my eyes are not blinded by arrogance. If there is a drawback or a defeat that happens, I am willing to admit it. Even if it's not publicly, I am willing to admit it to myself, if anything else. What are some challenges you think the next generation will face? Well, I think one challenge is that I think people aren't going to be as accepting of one another. One thing I think that this generation has lost a lot of is respect. And, I'm sure the people that hate me that are watching this like, oh, Barney, you're a troller. You raid. What are you talking about, respect? Well, dude, I'm respectful to those who are respectful to me, or just people who aren't disrespectful to me. You know what I'm saying? So, no, just because I'm a troller doesn't mean I don't know respect, my dude. So, I think that people today lost a lot of respect that the previous generations had, which is why when I see things that Frappe does, like turning on their own workers and just banning people for no reason, I'm so disgusted by it, because it shows where this generation is going. That's one of the reasons why, because it's like, dude, if these people are willing to do this on Frappe, who's to say that they aren't in real life? Like, obviously, a lot of behaviors that people do online, they wouldn't repeat in real life, but who's to say they won't repeat some of it? You know what I'm saying? Maybe they won't repeat it all, but who's to say they won't repeat some of it? What do you plan to do when you are done with Frappe? Well, Frappe is not the only place that I troll at. Some people seem to think that Frappe is the only reason why this community thrives and the only reason why I get as many subscribers and views as I do, which is just not the case at all. So when I am done with Frappe, if we ever get done, because this war may last for an eternity, obviously not literally eternity, but, it may last a long time, but if the time ever comes that the war does end, which is pretty much when they unban me, we would just move on to other things. We would go to other groups like Echelon Hotels or Bloxton or Boba or Koala Cafe, Fizzy, or any of those places, So right now, Frappe is our main objective, but it's not the only objective we have. And by objective, I mean places to troll at. Will you do more vids with that programmer? I would absolutely be up for doing more videos with him, but he is even busier than I am, so we would have to work out times for him to actually be available to record with me. And, he's more of a Minecraft guy than a Roblox guy, so he does enjoy trolling with me, but I don't think he would enjoy doing it as often as I do. So, yes, I definitely plan on doing more videos with him. I just have to, find out when he's available to do it. So, you haven't seen the last of that programmer. Mark my words. You haven't seen the last of him. 1. Is there an easier way to settle the Frappe situation? I believe you have all rights to argue with them. However, what if there was like a way you can talk about a peace treaty? I don't know. But if there is a way to get rid of the situation with Frappe, what do you think is the best? As much as it would be a great thing if peace were possible with Frappe, I'm afraid it's not. Because I have tried reasoning with them several times over in the past, but they just do not listen. we have said several times over that if they were to unban my main account, that we would stop raiding. It would end and the war would be over. We have said this for months on end, but they just refuse to listen. Like, I have even tried reasoning with the person who banned me. Very soon after she banned me, I tried to explain to her how the ban is unjust and how it should be removed, but she wouldn't listen to reason. So if there was going to be any possibility of peace between the trolling empire and Frappe, Frappe needs to start opening their eyes and understanding that they are not perfect and that they did make some mistakes in the matters that have happened between us. Sure, we've made some mistakes, like when people have taken the trolling too far, when they started harassing Frappe members. We've gone too far sometimes, and we've made some mistakes, and we're able to admit that. However, Frappe is not. So as soon as they can start understanding that they are not perfect and that they have made some mistakes, then maybe, just maybe, there would be able to be peace talks between Frappe and us. But I don't think that's going to happen. I seriously doubt it because they are just so convinced that they are beyond making mistakes and that they are 100% perfect. So, hey, I guess it's possible, but highly unlikely. What is the hardest thing you have ever done in your YouTube channel? Now, as previously mentioned, this YouTube channel has been around for quite a long time, so to come up with the hardest thing, I would have to really think about that one really hard. But one thing that was definitely difficult, and probably was the darkest time of this YouTube channel, which I guess you could say was the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with, was when another YouTuber, who I will not mention by name because he does not deserve to have his name said on here, and keep in mind, this was at a time when my channel was not anywhere near what it's like now. I was a very, very small YouTuber, getting barely even like 60 views per video. So I was a very little guy back then. This YouTuber sent his community of thousands after my channel, where they would mass dislike my videos, they would leave all kinds of hate comments, they would raid my streams, raid my Discord server. In fact, it got to the point where I had to cancel all invites to my Discord server and keep them, keep the server in lockdown, basically, for almost a whole year before I could open it back up to the public again. So, dealing with that YouTuber was definitely probably the darkest time in the Barney Hunter 12 channel's history. For those few that are still remaining of that time, you may know what I am talking about. I would rather you not talk about it in the comments, although that might make people want to. But yeah, that was probably the hardest thing I had to deal with. And as much of a hard thing as it was, it taught me a great deal. And the lesson that it taught me, I have used to help people who have received harassment from my community. Well, first off, it showed me just how toxic some people can get. Now, this is nowhere near the first example that I have of, toxic people I had to deal with. Even before my YouTube channel took off, I was a part of, Roblox groups that were ran by toxic people. So that's one of the reasons why I try to stop toxicity in my Discord server, because it's not a good thing. Toxicity is not a good thing. It can lead to very bad things happening. And it also taught me to not give reactions to the things that annoy me. For the most part, anyway, because of course I'm very vocal about how Frappe is, bad. But anyway, it taught me that as long as I don't show any reaction to most things that annoy me, they'll eventually go away. Now, of course, that doesn't work in all cases, Like, if somebody is, harassing you with your personal information, for example, ignoring that's not going to make that go away. They're still going to have that. So it's not in all cases that this works. But I had to ignore this YouTuber and his fan base for over a year before they finally went away. And again, throughout this whole time, they would raid my streams, raid my Discord, leave hate comments, mass dislike my videos. I had to turn off likes and dislikes on my videos for a long time. In fact, I think if you dig hard enough on the videos that were posted in that time period, the likes and dislike ratio is still not visible from that time period because of that whole thing going on during that time. So yes, I would have to say without a shred of a doubt that that was the hardest thing I ever had to deal with. And yeah, and it also taught me how trolling can turn into bullying, because this person called it trolling, but it was really bullying. It really was bullying. And that's one of the other reasons why I try to, you know, tell people that it's okay to troll people and mess with them a little bit, but to full on harass them is not a good thing, because you don't know what this person is going through. And I was going through a pretty dark time in my life at that point. So it wasn't a pleasant experience, to say the least, but it has been over now for many years, and I am very happy to say that it's over. This YouTuber is still around, but he is not as relevant as he once was, because I was basically the only thing that made him relevant. So once he, you know, stopped talking about me, yeah, it didn't really, his channel kind of slowly became irrelevant. So anyway, yeah, that's definitely the hardest thing I had to deal with on this YouTube channel. Favorite Star Wars episode? That is a tough one. Now, I would have to say Return of the Jedi, episode 6 is my favorite, because it's the episode where, spoiler alert, by the way, if you don't watch Star Wars and plan to, it's the episode where Anakin Skywalker finally returned. The Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Vader, embraced the light again and became Anakin Skywalker. And that is my favorite scene in all of cinema, when Darth Vader decided to save his son, and in that moment, Anakin Skywalker returned and Darth Vader was destroyed. And moments later, Darth Sidious was destroyed as well, or at least we thought, until, you know, episode 9 came around. Now, I love the prequels as well, because I grew up with them. I'm not a prequel hater. I think episode 1 had, you know, it was a little boring at first, episode 1, but I think the climax, the final fight on Naboo, was amazing. Now, my opinion on the Star Wars sequels, the Disney trilogy, which is very controversial, do they have their problems? Yes, but every movie does. No movie is perfect. Believe it or not, the originals, episode 4, 5, and 6, they have their problems too. They're not free of flaws. There's no perfect movie out there. People treat the Disney trilogy as if it destroyed Star Wars. It didn't destroy Star Wars, my dude. Did it create some plot holes? Yes. Did it have its problems? Yes, it did. But it's not like this pure evil thing that destroyed Star Wars, my dude. Like, you don't need to treat it as if, like, it's this thing that destroyed your childhood, my dude. Like, at the end of the day, it's a movie. It's a movie, my dude. Like, I get that being passionate about something, and when something changes a lot, it's hard to accept. But you don't need to treat it like the way that people treat it, you know what I'm saying? The Last Jedi, it had problems, you know? The Last Jedi the Luke Skywalker we saw in The Last Jedi was drastically different than the Luke Skywalker that we left off on in Return of the Jedi. Yes, absolutely. You know, the whole Force heal thing in episode 9. Yeah, that creates a lot of plot holes. I'm not saying that it doesn't have problems, but people, I think, ignore the good things that it added, you know? I thought that the addition of Ben Solo was decent. Was his character a little whiny? Yeah, but I think that was the intention, you know what I mean? Because that's kind of how he was. I mean, he had his uncle turn on him. He lost his father. He ended up murdering his own father. And, you know, his mother, or at least he thought, his mother rejected him. You know, obviously his mother would have accepted him if he embraced the light earlier on. But remember in episode 9 how he said that he can't go back to her. So all he had left was the dark side, and that's basically how Vader was as well. But of course Vader wasn't whiny about it, but yeah, I don't know, man. But people ignore that there are some positive aspects to the sequel trilogy, you know what I'm saying? And people are probably going to hate me for saying that, for daring to say anything but negativity about the sequel trilogy. But hey, it's the truth, all right? It's the truth. Do you know any other languages apart from English? No, I unfortunately do not. The only language that I know is English. Although I would love to learn new languages, but I think it would be very difficult to do because you pretty much have to learn to speak all over again. Now, in my job, I actually work with a lot of Spanish people because the area where my store is has a lot of immigrants in it. So there's a lot of people that speak Spanish. So if there was a language that I would want to speak other than English, it would probably be Spanish because I as far as I know, I think that's the second biggest language in America other than English, of course. So I would love to learn to speak Spanish or some other languages, like maybe like French or Italian or Irish or some of those other languages. But again, you basically have to learn to talk all over again. So it would probably be exceedingly difficult. I don't know. Are any of you guys out there, bilingual, know how to speak other languages? If so, let me know in the comments and let me know what the experience was like to learn new languages. I would like to know. Why did you choose YouTube as your career, and did you think you were going to take off on YouTube? I wouldn't say YouTube is my career because I do have another, job that I work that is, giving me income. As it stands right now, none of my videos are monetized. I do have the option of monetizing them because YouTube did accept me into their partnership program, but I choose not to monetize my videos for reasons that I don't really want to get into on this video. There are multiple reasons why. Now, did I think I was going to take off? No, I actually didn't. I am actually blown away by how much the channel has changed in the past year, because as previously mentioned, this channel wasn't like the way it is today all the time. In fact, for most of its history, it wasn't. For years and years and years, it was irrelevant. And I was actually considering quitting YouTube. But then the channel took off. But I was considering quitting because, it was just not taking off after several years of trying and trying and trying. So I thought, I'm doomed to just stay where I am now. But it took off, and I was like, okay, let's keep going. These trolling videos are getting popular, so let's keep going. And, the rest is history. Milk before cereal or cereal before milk? Cereal before milk, like a normal person. Though admittedly, I'm not that much of a cereal eater. I used to really crave cereal, but I've never been a big cereal eater. And now that I'm on the keto diet, I can't have really that many carbohydrates, and cereal has a lot of carbohydrates, not to mention sugar as well. So, especially now, I can't really eat cereal. But if I was to eat it, I would do it like a normal person and do it cereal before milk, alright? If you do milk before cereal, you're weird. You're in the same boat as people who eat pizza with a fork and a knife. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Here come the meme questions. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Yes. No. Wait. Oh god. My mind! It hurts! Ah! What was your favorite Christmas present as a child? It would have to be between the air hockey table, which was a very big air hockey table because I really enjoyed playing air hockey in arcades as a kid. So I ended up getting a whole air hockey table I could use in the house. And one that I got when I was younger, which was a toy tractor. It was a tractor that was big enough for me to actually ride in. And I remember riding around in my backyard with that thing for hours and hours and hours. Now, the house I grew up in was very big, so it had a big backyard, so there was a lot of space for me to ride around with it on. And the front yard was pretty decently sized as well, so I would just ride all around the house on that thing. And I remember when the battery ran out, it was so disappointing. We would have to, go in the garage and plug it into a bigger battery of some kind to charge it up again. So I don't know which one it was, although I guess it would have to be the tractor, because as a little kid, I just found so much enjoyment with that. But the air hockey table is very close behind, I would have to say. Now, there's still more questions to go, but number one, I'm running low on gameplay footage that I already have. And number two, this video is getting kind of long already, because I remember on the video where I talked about, debunking the document that was made on me, it was 45 minutes, and people were like, oh man, that's too long. So I'm just going to stop this video here before it gets too long. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and leave a comment letting me know what you think. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. And feel free to ask a question if you want